Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. One second, let me do that again. It was a little low. Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, everybody listening, and what up, Chris?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース!
What's up, nerds?
Yeah, we're back. A little later than usual, but hey, you know, we did it. We got a lot of great manga to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37, that's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh, that's on Twitter.
Oh yeah, Brian.
You can find me on b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at switch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email to newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll answer it on the pre-show chat show that we do. That we did one this week, you guys, so look forward to that. Very excited. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast, YouTube. All of that stuff is very important. Please do leave 5-star reviews and likes and whatever is required to help us out in the algorithm, guys. So hit that up. And yeah, that's it for plugs. That's all we got. Let's get into the show. Oh, One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1109, Interception. First of all, we got this cover series, new cover series started. It's coming in pretty hot with Onigashima underwater, sunken down to the level of where the original Wano is, which is very crazy. I'm wondering, what could this be about? What could this cover series be about? Who else has been knocked down under the ground into this original state of Wano? Big Mom and Kaido. Could this be?
Have they?
Mm-hmm. They're in like this volcanic area.
Yeah, they're in like a volcano.
But yeah, could this be where, you know, they come back into the story?
Maybe they get Pluton.
Oh my god.
My theory is that Big Mom is gonna turn Kaido into one of her homies.
That would be crazy.
I think that might happen.
Yeah, but she was cooking in that lava for a long time before Kaido showed up.
Yeah, but Big Mom is different. We all know this.
Yeah, very interesting. Can't wait to see what happens. But the chapter starts where we last left off, where Vegapunk seemingly dying and his death triggering a message that he pre-recorded out to the world. And he's about to reveal the truth about the world, as he says. And this chapter starts off with the message not really starting. It's really just Vegapunk and Shaka addressing the world, and Shaka being like, whoa, wait, hold on. We can't just start up out of nowhere. Surely the audience needs to be adequately prepared to hear it. So, you know, we get basically shots from around the world kind of showing, you know, everybody is hearing this message. And it comes to the point where at the end of the day, they're going to pick 10 minutes. They're going to take 10 minutes to let everybody get fucking ready to hear this, to hear what the Vegapunks have to say. And so now we have a time limit until we can hear what Vegapunk is trying to transmit out into the world. Vegapunk himself is not looking very good right now. He seems to be dead. I think that's the vibe here. At least the main body is. The other Vegapunk should be fine. Meanwhile, at Marijois, the rest of the Goros, the rest of the five elders hear the message and they're communicating. Say again, Brian?
But that was Josh, but I think he was talking to somebody else.
Oh, my bad.
My bad.
Anyway, so the five elders are communicating telepathically with Saturn, and they're asking, like, Saturn, what happened with Vegapunk? And Saturn explains the situation. He's like, Kizaru killed him. He should be dead by now. I think I saw it. And the five elders figured that, so he must have set this message up to play after his death. So, if they can find the source of the transmission, they should be able to stop it. And we get shots from all around the world now of people setting up video transponder snails to watch the message. The Navy is unable to intercept the message themselves because the Vegapunks have made it so complicated to scramble. So, we get some familiar faces. We see Dressrosa, we see Luffy's Windmill Village. We see Water 7 gearing up to see it. Of course, Big News Morgan
なんというビッグニュース
and his people are all geared up to watch it. So, the world is now watching with bated breath, including the revolutionaries. And Luffy is just like, so those punches meant nothing to you. He just continues to throw hands. Kizaru and Saturn try to attack him, I guess, but he dodges both of their attacks, and he does a new attack on them where he smushes them between his palms. It's called the Gum Gum Dawn symbol, and he literally flattens them cartoon style.
Reminds me of Donkey Kong's forward smash.
Yeah. Yeah. He forward smashes them. And then he just I don't know, he does I don't know what it's called, but he basically spins them around on his index finger. And he
like a pizza.
Like a pizza.
And then he shoots them away. Kizaru just taking a bunch of damage, but Saturn immediately comes back for more. Kizaru is on his back like, fuck, that hurt. And the other members of the five elders are like, Saturn, there's no time. Vegapunk must not be given license to speak. And so in a completely unexpected move, Saturn says, fuck this, I'll make the summons. And 4 new pentagrams pop up on Egghead, indicating that the rest of the 5 elders are being summoned to Egghead, and we may see them in their devil fruit forms fighting. Jesus, that was crazy. There is no One Piece next week because Oda likes to torture us with these things. But that was the end. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1109?
This shit was crazy.
Right?
This is the RGC.
Yes, same.
In an absolutely stacked week.
Right.
This was an insane chapter.
Brian?
This is mine too.
Start to finish.
Unified RGC! Unified RGC! Unified RGC!
Josh?
So, I have some thoughts about the final scene, but I'll get into that a little bit later. I don't usually go out my way to say this about One Piece, but I mean, the visuals in this chapter were really good. Like, I wouldn't say incredible art or any wicked two-page spreads. I mean, Luffy doing that big attack on them was really dope, but just I feel like the vibe of this chapter was just really on point, very One Piece, and like the way how hectic everything looks, and how this like huge, sudden event is happening in the middle of this like crazy fight. Like we're already looking forward to a fight with Luffy and the Elder, but then for Vegapunk to be dropping this bomb, it's just a lot going on, and something we've been saying this, but like One Piece is going to be very different after this arc. So I think it's interesting that the Elder like himself can't, like he's not sustaining too much damage. I don't think it's a matter of Luffy not hitting him hard enough or anything like that, but I feel like it'd be kind of tacky or played since Luffy struggled like trying to damage Kaido and then learned that new ability with hockey. I forget what it was called. That he learned in Wano.
The Ryuo?
Yeah, right. That allowed him to pierce through like really strong people or whatever. So I don't know. I'm just interested. I wonder what you guys think about that too. But Saturn, his name is Saturn, right? And I'm trying to like think like what's the like like why like did he name himself that, or why did Oda give him his name? And when you look at these summons, like they're all rings, right? So this tells me a couple things. One, he's I get like if this is his special ability, then he's like integral to the rest of the elders. Because he can seemingly teleport wherever he wants, and possibly even the elders themselves. But I have thoughts that I don't think the elders are showing up here. I think he's summoning like other creatures or something like that. In my opinion. I think it'd be a little too much for the elders to show up right now. And yeah, I don't know. I think I think the fact that he didn't show them before the break says a lot. Like that it's not gonna be them, but that he's trying to make us like he's gonna fake us out. That's just my thought process. So I don't know. Those are my overall thoughts of the chapter. Excellent. Um, Jay Garcia looks insane. One of the best villain designs recently. Okay, Brian, what are your thoughts?
I think he is summoning the elders, but they're just not going. But Luffy's not going to allow them to show up. Is my theory. I think Luffy's just going to like interrupt him while he's in the middle of bringing them in. But I think the main reason why I like this chapter so much is because it kind of flips on the head of like the usual tropes for like One Piece arcs where they're like, "Oh, we have this amount of time to stop the villain." But now it's like the villain's turn to try to stop Luffy, right? So it's a pretty cool change to the arc. It really makes you feel like the Straw Hats are really grown a lot, where now they're a threat that needs to be stopped instead of being the ones to stop the threats, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty fun little change. Luffy kind of shitting on Saturn was not expected. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it just it feels like um I feel like I might know what their deal is. I think all of them got the immortality surgery that Law's fruit provides. Um, Mainly because I feel like, that has to come into play at some point, right? Because it's been mentioned before that it has been conducted. So it would make sense for these guys who have been around for ages to have immortality, right? So it almost makes me feel like aren't they don't really care about getting hit. They just care about the objective that they want to complete. So we I don't think we're going to see how strong they really are because they don't really care about getting hit, right? So, I don't know. This chapter raised a lot of questions about the Gorosei and how they run their operation and how they carry themselves. Because usually like when One Piece villains show up, they're just fucking shit up, but these guys don't really seem to care about getting humiliated by Luffy like that, which is funny. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. I'm really interested to see what happens next.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about all of them getting the immortality surgery, basically because the immortality surgery requires the person who's doing it to give up their own life, and they can only do it to one person at a time. So if there's anybody who has it, it's probably Emo. It's probably Emo who has the surgery.
I think you mean emo.
Emo. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I think maybe it's possible that like the properties of their devil fruit gives them like an elongated life. Maybe not make them immortal, but allows them to live far beyond their prime. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're actually going to summon the Gorosei here. That would be insane. I don't know how they would do it. I think like maybe I'm more on Brian's line of thinking where maybe Luffy interrupts him, stops him from summoning them. But yeah, it would be wild if all 5 of them are on this island. And I think it would make sense because this is something that this is not just like about detaining Luffy. It's about stopping Vegapunk from blowing up their entire spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I don't think they're all going to show up. Something's going to stop them from getting in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I genuinely like can't tell what Oda's gonna do here.
It's impossible to predict nowadays, except for me, of course. I always get it
Because I
right.
didn't expect even the idea that like all of the 5 elders would move right now. But I feel like there's such a unified front as well that it would make sense that like one, and they don't play games about this kind of stuff. They're very like, if we see even the slightest hint of a threat, we're basically genociding you. So it makes sense that like that they would immediately be like, okay, if Saturn's not going to be able to do it alone, we should all be there and kill everyone on this island.
Become their own Buster Call.
Yeah, they're probably
Their
tight
own
right now that the
Uranus,
Buster
so to
Call
speak.
no longer works. It's like that was our go-to.
You think this is the first time they tried to do a Buster Call when an emperor was there?
Who's to say? They could have done it with Wano if they wanted to, but I figure they think with like the emperors, there's probably no point in a Buster Call.
So they just underestimated Luffy? Is that what happened?
Yeah, but I think this whole thing was more than just beating Luffy. This was more about destroying Vegapunk. So as long as they were able to do that, then that's all they would need to do. That's all they would care about. Like Luffy's an obstacle in their way. More than, and their final goal is getting rid of Vegapunk and all of the satellites.
Random, but Kaido really didn't know that entire time that Pluton was under Wano.
Well,
No.
nobody does, to be fair. The only people who technically know are the people who are in Odin's clan. And that would be his dad.
Even Odin didn't know, probably.
Yeah, it's possible Odin himself didn't know. But also nobody really knows about the Pluton, the Wano underneath all the water either, because that happened like centuries ago.
Yeah, that's like a pretty tight-lipped secret. You wouldn't want anybody to know that one of the strongest weapons of all time is right in your basement.
Yeah, that's crazy. Makes sense.
Well, he's about to find out now, probably because of the cover page.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. Like,
Gosh, I wonder what that could be too. I'm
he's
so
just gonna go
excited.
back.
These cover stories are often so revealing about things, and
It's been a while. It's been like years since
no,
we
it
had a
hasn't
cover
been
story.
years. The last one was with the Vinsmoke family.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well,
That was
maybe it
a
has been
year
years.
ago.
I actually don't remember, but it's been a while. What a brilliant storytelling device too. Like Oda really knows how to use the whole animal. He's like, I'm even going to tell the story
Yeah.
through the cover pages. I'm a world build top to bottom.
Right. That's why this chapter deserved being the best for this week.
I'm glad that
But,
because before it was all just a bunch of like art requests, right?
Yeah, he
For
does
all
that in the
characters.
downtime in between, like the cover stories. When you do
Feels like it's
1,000
been a while.
chapters, you're like, I'm running out of funny animal situations to draw these characters, and you guys request it.
Funny, silly animal moments.
But yeah, this chapter was so fucking cute. The dawn symbol was really funny. He literally made a spider pizza.
Spider pizza.
And frisbeed
imagine
it.
Oda
sounds
doing
kinda
a
gross.
retelling of Alice in Wonderland.
What?
Imagine Oda doing a retelling of Alice in Wonderland.
Well, some of Big Mom's Island is based off of that a little bit.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, this was a short chapter too. It was like 15 pages.
We need Oda to get back on his shit.
Well, he won't be till like 2 weeks from now, which is sad. But hey, anything to keep this story going without a hitch, without any super long hiatuses. Take care of yourself, Oda. We say it all the time. We need you here.
Take care of yourself, but also get to work, man.
Hey, get the fucking work.
Sorry, maybe that's toxic.
No, I don't care. Oda's got to get his. He doesn't want it anymore, you guys. He's not ambitious anymore.
Sorry, you need to
Fun
stop.
stuff.
He's not. He's
I
giving
didn't-
up. Datebayo.
I didn't take it that far. I just want that to be known.
I'm being silly. I'm kidding.
He's not kidding.
You're right. I'm not kidding. Anyway, we could move on now. We good to move on?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go.
ブラッディ・クロス
Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 252, Inhuman Makyo Shinjuku Showdown, part 24. So last we left off, it was looking like Okotsu and Itadori were taking a big L sandwich. And then Maki showed up and impaled Sukuna with her Maki blade. With her sister, essentially. And yeah, that's where we're left off. I mean, it looks like Maki's got one over on Sukuna, and we get a little flashback to, I guess, a few moments before Okotsu's barrier breaks, and we see Kusakabe with this guy with the face mask guy,
Yeah, my man's.
my man's.
I forgot his name too.
He's so cool though.
Don't they say it in the chapter?
Isn't his name Ino or something?
Yeah, it's
Yes, I nailed nailed it because I was watching Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 recently. So, all right. So Ino is like, they're talking about how they're scattering. Everybody's going to be in position because they are planning for the barrier to eventually break, and for Maki to come in and do her thing. So Ino's like, Kusakabe, a few more people should go into the domain. And he's like, you're bringing that up now? If someone penetrates Okotsu's domain, Sukuna will direct his attention outside the domain. So, and plus, we're not fucking good enough to fight him, all right? We can't.
You know what's funny? We actually talked about that last week, I think. Like, oh, why didn't Maki just go in there with them, like, busting the domain? And, like, I think y'all made a point of saying, like, oh, like, just like as he said, it would have exposed, they would have gave Sukuna an opening. To take advantage of them.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say one more thing real quick. They're talking about Okotsu did a good job shifting the barrier's coordinates. Like, what?
I think what they're saying is that Okotsu moved his domain while they were inside it.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty sure that's what
whatever.
they're saying.
I mean, whatever, man.
You didn't have to say
I don't
that.
know.
It's not.
Did that annoy me a little bit? Yeah. It did.
Why does that
I
bother
would
you?
just, I would have been fine with the fact that they would.
They were just outside it?
On the highway. It's fine.
No, they
They
had
were
to
just
explain.
moving. They were just moving the battle to a more advantageous spot.
Yeah.
No, they had to move it.
I didn't
Josh.
know you can move barriers like that. That's brand new information to me, but I guess I'm a casual or something.
You're filthy fucking casual, Josh. Why don't you read Jujutsu Kaisen
Suppose.
over again?
I mean, they've been preparing for this fight for a month, right? So maybe they've thought of every possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. But yeah, they look back to Maki and they say, a lot rests on you. No pressure, obviously. And she seems to be in like a track meet running position.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
I guess she just like dashes in there. She does like a 40-yard dash inside the barrier at the exact moment she needed
as soon
to.
as the barrier breaks.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. We then get we come back to the present. There seems to be some unfinished pages, but that's okay. Sometimes it happens.
Sometimes it really do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, and for the manga volume, it'll be fixed up. That's what happened to me. I remember when Maki fought against the Zenin clan. That chapter was mostly unfinished, and
I remember that too.
Yeah.
I have the volume now, and the chapter's completely done in there.
Is it fixed on Jump?
No, that's a good question. I don't know.
It actually isn't. I just read through it the other day.
Oh, really?
I actually
you
have been
actually?
rereading Jujutsu Kaisen, believe it or not.
Oh.
I started reading it from where the anime left off.
Oh.
I wasn't gonna just reread, what I already watched.
Yeah.
The anime does a good job of covering all the details too.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's no filler or nothing. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So
They did not update it yet.
That's interesting. Well, I guess they still have the published chapters, the original. That's interesting. Anyway. Yeah, they're fighting. Rika takes Okotsu to Ui Ui, and he seems to teleport them away. And Maki stays behind to box out with Sukuna. Sukuna breaks down in his head what just happened. They're like, he that damn possessed brat burst the domain on purpose. So, they were basically saying, Sukuna figures that Okotsu broke his barrier as a distraction to make Sukuna think he won, so that Maki could come through and hit a sneak attack on Sukuna. And Sukuna is realizing that the wound that Maki hit him with is healing a little slower, and we get a little explanation from narrator Sama that when someone who can observe the souls wield the split soul katana, reverse curse technique doesn't usually heal the wound, because I guess it strikes directly at the soul. And because Sukuna, there's two souls in Sukuna's body, it kind of muddies the waters a bit in terms of healing your very soul itself. I'll take it. So Itadori tries to go over and help out, but he starts coughing up blood because, and he starts to think is like, oh my god, it's because I've been using reverse curse technique. I just learned it, and I've healed 4 wounds that should have been fatal. So clearly, I missed one. There must have been a place I missed. I gotta find it. And then Choso pulls up behind him and he's like, calm yourself. Remember and envision. Send blood to every part of your body as if extending roots. Imagine you're shaping your body through your blood vessels. So I guess like Choso's helping him out with the reverse curse technique, which is pretty nice of him. Sukuna and Maki are still boxing it out. It's pretty sick. She's not dying immediately, which is nice. She's actually like kind of sort of putting up a fight. And she even dodges like one of Sukuna's big slashes. And even Sukuna thinks to himself, is like, wow, she reads my techniques much better than the other sorcerers. Much like when I battled, she's like when I battled Maharaga in Shibuya. That's a pretty high compliment. This lady's like Maharaga.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. Now I think about it.
Yeah, and Maki's thinking to himself, or herself, like he's using cursed energy to simultaneously heal and keep his heart beating. So what Megumi said about their encounter at the juvenile center must be true. And she's like, your heart, can you keep battling me while keeping that up? And Sukuna's like, at the moment, I'm having no trouble at all.
With this handicap.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hakari is still battling Uraume. Uraume, actually. I was listening to the Jujutsu Kaisen in dub like a filthy casual. And I think it's pronounced Uraume.
Uraume?
Uraume.
You still say it so weird.
Uraume. I say
Without fail, you always say it weird.
yeah. So Hakari is talking about how like I doubt he's trying to hide, but Sukuna's presence is easy to spot. That form looks dangerous, but we're looking pretty good. We're doing all right. Sukuna's cursed energy is withering away. We're gonna win this. And Uraume is saying like, your cursed technique and optimism are both absurd. She says, Lord Sukuna is capricious. His cursed energy wavers like this when he isn't interested in his opponents. You should be ashamed of yourself for not presenting a better fight than Satoru Gojo. Even considering the effects of the early fighting, I can see that Lord Sukuna still isn't taking this fight seriously. And that's where the chapter ends.
Shit.
Wowee, Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 252?
I've always thought that Jujutsu Kaisen likes to lean on the tropes, and I enjoy it. But man, if we had video right now and I could see my face, the side eye, like, really? That's what we're gonna do?
He's not even trying trope.
He's not trying. He hasn't really been going that serious. He almost died in that in that fucking barrier, yo.
No, he didn't.
He almost lost.
When did
How
it seem
fuck's
like
it
he
going,
was? He
man?
almost died.
They did have him on the ropes for real.
What you mean he was not even trying? She's just salty. I don't believe her.
Really, the only thing that saved them,
Some type of way that her Lord and Savior is on the ropes.
the only thing that saved them is that like a trump card that he did a while ago.
He doesn't even have the right controller. He doesn't even use this controller to play usually.
Yeah. I usually use the Joy-Cons. That's what Urame is saying. He usually uses Joy-Cons. But right now he's using a GameCube controller against you guys.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the other way around.
Nope. Sukuna prefers Joy-Cons.
That sounds
He's
disgusting.
that much of a demon. He does have 4 arms. He should optimally press all of the buttons better than you could on a controller, I guess.
There's no way that the greatest sorcerer of all time would be a fucking Joy-Con player. He would definitely be a GameCube
Why?
player. I don't know, man. Like, think about it.
I don't know.
Like, that's like saying
I've used
Michael
Joy-Cons.
Jordan. That's like saying Michael Jordan would wear fucking Adidas.
That doesn't make sense, Brian. I don't think that's a proper
That does make
analogy.
sense. Michael Jordan will wear Jordans.
Well, yeah, but they're not like they're Joy-Cons. They're not Sukunas.
That's
Well,
what are you
I'd like to
talking
go
about?
over the important things that I felt really need to be noted in this chapter, right? So, number 1,
Burger King foot lettuce.
Rika is okay. I knew she was gonna regenerate and be fine. She scooped up a Kotu. They're gonna be okay. I know that as a fact, and you guys do too.
Mhm.
It's okay. But let me tell you this. When I first looked at this spread, pages 4 to 5, this was the first unfinished page. And I thought that maybe for a moment, like it looked like this because they were all that chopped up and bloody. You know, I was like, oh, they're like really fucking messed up.
Oh man,
And,
they're
you know,
extra
they're-
dead.
Yeah, like
They're
that. Like,
extra
oh,
dead.
it's over.
They're so dead he didn't
She's
even
in
finish. He
PT.
didn't bother to finish the page.
Extra dead.
But then Maki pulled up and quite frankly gave him the business. There's a moment when they're fighting on page 12 where he like grabs the sword and he's like, thinking like, yeah, got your ass, and she smiles and just says and just flips him, like completely overpowering him. And I thought that was so fucking cool. And then she tossed his ass. And dealt
Yeah,
with all the
Maki-
rubble and
Maki's put it at work.
She did, but I'm gonna be honest, this isn't enough. And I'm not saying it's not enough to beat Sukuna. That's obvious. It's not enough for me personally. And for him to be actually going serious now or something like that, I don't really think that bodes well for Maki. I'm very worried. I think she's ready to join her sister at the airport. I think she's on pack watch, officially starting right now. And then no one's gonna save her.
Chill with that, all right?
I'm sorry, but
That hurt my feelings when you said that.
Yeah, listen, man.
You need
The
to
point of this
understand.
chapter is
We're
to
all
say that
grown-ups. We're all-
he
we're
isn't
all-
trying.
All grown men, right? Like we need to come. and
We're grown ups.
accept
We're
these
all
things,
adults here.
the
We can
reality
choose.
of life.
No, you're right.
Your characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, your favorite characters, will die.
You're right, Josh. I'm sorry. I tried to be optimistic, but it's entirely possible that Maki is gonna.
I don't
As
think
we've spoken of that
Maki's-
Maki pack
What do you
soon.
think the chances are, huh?
I'm pretty sure Maki's goal here is not to win the fight. I'm pretty sure. Maki's goal here is to do
If only
something
we
else
had
because
camera.
Kusakabe said like it's like a part of the plan, right? That this is what Maki is supposed to do. So I feel like she's just gonna be buying time.
I think the plan with Maki is to try her best, like
Yeah.
everyone else has.
Try her best, and I
And,
think
you
they're
know-
buying time for Gojo to show up again.
I'll tell you what. Maki is the only one besides Gojo to 1v1 Sukuna.
Yeah, because she's the goat.
Yeah,
I think she's
she-
better than Toji at this point, right?
Who's to say, honestly? I mean,
I can say.
she did spend like a month. They did spend like a month kind of training. So she could have gotten exponentially better. She was already a beast before then.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think he would have even smoked the Zenin clan like that.
Sukuna?
No, Toji.
Oh, yeah. It's possible.
I think he could have. That's besides the point. I don't know. I just feel like they have been too meticulous, right? Like they've been planning everything down to the T, and the fucking warp kid is coming in and taking people out. I'm just pretty sure that
I know it's a part of a plan overall.
I think the fact that nobody was upset about Gojo dying is what leads me to believe that Gojo is like getting patched up right now
Yeah.
and sent back in.
Everyone was upset.
Yeah, to be fair, they didn't have time. Like they had to move the second this guy died.
It's like they planned everything like around Gojo dying and not him winning.
Well, yeah, they definitely very much prepared
They
for the
had
worst case
to.
scenario of Gojo dying. They know what series they're in. So they had to prepare for the absolute worst. And I honestly, I wanted to say this during my thoughts, is the idea that like I love how meticulously these guys planned every worst case scenario. And I know it doesn't really matter because like Sukuna is so overwhelmingly powerful, but it is impressive how no matter what, they didn't let any loss get to them. They just had to keep going with plan A, B, C, and so on. There's a lot of
Like,
odd optimism in this fight for how dark it is. It's like, well, if the GOAT can't do it, then we have to step in and we have to do this multi-layered plan. We have to execute it to perfection every time.
they're like, if the guy who's the greatest of all time can't beat him, all right, then we're gonna have a literal sword that will kill him if it touches him a single time. And then if that doesn't work, we get this guy to kind of pick him up and put him somewhere else. And then if that doesn't work, then we're gonna have this girl come in and fight him.
It's like no matter what happens, we just can't stop. We have to keep piling it on and hope he just gets tired.
Entire clip.
What a crazy boss gauntlet for Sukuna though. He just keeps fucking fighting nonstop.
Yeah, they're just like trying to gas him out. They have no other option.
But honestly, I don't have
Million
many
stories.
thoughts from myself. I feel like I've already talked about everything I wanted to.
Yeah, I mentioned that, I love how like, no matter how bad it's looking, the sorcerers are just like, well, we got to keep going. We can't stop. We have like contingency plans. We got somebody patching our fellas up. We'll just keep reloading, And Itadori's out here this whole time, just boxing. So good. The battle with Hikari and Uruume is one I want to see. To be honest, it's crazy that she was able to break out of his domain. Does that mean she won, like the jackpot every time?
That since they're not in a domain.
Yeah, since like I think she's broken Hikari's domain before.
Dude, I have no clue what's going on in that fight.
Or maybe
I'm
he
gonna be
just
real.
didn't get the jackpot himself, so it didn't continue.
Yeah, there is like a slim chance
Yeah.
that you could prevent him from getting it. I forget like the exact particulars, but I remember that Charles was trying to like desperately be like, fuck, I gotta fight him and stop him from doing this. Really, I just don't want Hikari to die, and I don't want Maki to die.
They just haven't shown us what happens inside the domain, so maybe they're just purposely withholding it for now.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that they chose Hikari to go and stop her or delay her, though. I guess he does have like the perfect stall technique.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, she is, for all intents and purposes, a problem. You see all the ice around them? Like, they had to send, like, another one of their strongest people to hold off Uruume,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive. Does he have like? Oh, okay, I thought he had like ice lodged in his shoulder, but she just froze his shoulder.
I'll freeze your shoulder.
I'll freeze your shoulder, Brian. You know how to get my goat. All right, yeah, this was awesome. Love this chapter. Huge fan. I love all the chapters. So glad it's not on break next week. Maki, mwah, chef's kiss. So good. Anytime Maki shows up, it's awesome. But all right. Yeah, let's we ready to move on? Any rebuttals or anything?
Easier.
Nope.
Okay. So let's go. Okay. So at this point, we've been teasing that there's going to be a new series joining the lineup for such an occasion for when series are, out. And, we don't have just like 2 series to talk about. So, happy to announce that joining the official New Jump City recap lineup is Kagura Bachi. Yeah, and guess who's gonna cover it? It's Edgelord Big News Brian.
All right. For those of you who don't know what Kagurabachi is, it's an upcoming shonen battle manga by Takeru Hokazano. And if there's any word that I could use to describe this series, it's interesting. Mainly because I heard about this shit before it even came out, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can say the same thing. It's really weird. Like, you usually don't hear about manga that have been that you usually don't hear about it before it gets released, right? Usually you'll like hear about it like 10 chapters in, you'll be on Twitter and you'll see, damn, this series is actually pretty good 10 chapters in. But the weird thing about a series like this getting talked about this early before it even comes out is that it's from an unaccomplished like mangaka too. Like, it's a person who has only done one shots, who doesn't have a big name. Like, I've never heard of Hokazano before, and it's being hyped up to be the next thing to replace like Black Clover, My Hero, or Jujutsu Kaisen. So you're like, okay, what the fuck? So out of curiosity, when the series did come out, I started to read it. I was like, this can't be what they're saying it is. And I'm not gonna jump the gun and say that it is, but I can see the potential of it, right? Because when you read Kagurabachi, it has a different tone compared to most modern manga, or like most of manga in general, right? Because the main character is very different from your traditional anime protagonist. Like, he's not a super happy-go-lucky, optimistic like hero. He's a guy who shows up, he's edgy as fuck, and he kills things. Like, this series from the first chapter is a bloody fucking mess, but it's the way that it's drawn and the way that it tells its story kind of has like a little charm to it that is kind of seen in most traditional shonen manga. Like,
Yeah, he has a way of making corpses look so pretty. You know?
like the way the action
bloodshed look like an opera, like a ballet, a bloodshed.
Yeah, it does. Like, the action in this series does feel like, it does feel beautiful to look at. The way that he draws movement, or draws the illusion of movement, the art that he does for like the special techniques, like the sorcerers and the special blades, which we'll get to in a second. It's just really, really well done for a mangaka that's literally starting his first serialized series, right? Like, this is actually pretty impressive. And I feel like that's what initially drew people in, and I had people saying, yo, this guy is the truth. He could be next up in Jump. So essentially, the plot of this series is you follow Chihiro, who is the son of a extremely legendary blacksmith who created these swords for some war, right? 6 swords. And all of them have their own unique power and their own unique thing that the user can benefit from. Until one day, him and his father were attacked by this group of rogue sorcerers who killed his father and stole the swords. And ever since then, Chihiro has pledged his life to reclaiming the swords that were stolen, so that he can put them to rest alongside his dad. And he has a special 7th sword that nobody knows about. And that's Kagurabachi. It's a pretty interesting plot, right? Because usually when you think of like a shonen protagonist, you think of a guy who has like a crazy ambition to be something, right? Like, I'm gonna be Hokage, I'm gonna be Pirate King, I'm gonna be Wizard King, I'm gonna be the best hero. But Chihiro's main goal is to do right by his father's legacy, which is different. It's very different from like a regular protagonist, and that's why I find it fun. It's a fun read, something different. And all right, I don't really have a recap, but we could get into the series if one of you have like a recap or something planned. But
I mean, I could briefly fill in just for the purposes of the fact that we're probably going to talk about the newest chapter in a little bit. But in very basic terms, we've had this series is still in its infancy. It's only like 23 chapters so far. So we've really only had one major arc happen, and that is Chihiro's attempt to get the Cloud Gouger back, which is the first of the swords, and it's in the hands of this like evil sorcerer family or whatever. And yeah, that whole battle actually just ended, and Chihiro was able to defeat I think his name is Sojo, and reclaim the sword for himself.
I think he broke it too.
Yeah,
right?
he did break it, but I think like the implication is that it can be repaired, or it doesn't stay broken forever. But in any case, he's managed to reclaim one of the swords one way or another, and we're now in the midst of him reclaiming his 2nd sword, which is currently about to be put up for auction in this black market type of deal. He's been pursuing this mafia family, and who is in charge of it and has possession of the sword currently. The new sword's called Shinuchi, and I think the family is Hanazami, if I could be wrong. The family that has it, and they're also competing with, I guess, like the law enforcement arm of this universe called the Kamunabi. And everybody's just kind of trying to reclaim this sword at this time. They were able to. Chihiro meets like one of the Hazanami family, who is kind of like an outcast, a black sheep, because he's not a particularly strong sorcerer. But yeah, that we're left off where like they actually corner the head of the family who has the access to the actual sword itself, and that's where the last chapter left off, where Chihiro seems to be about to kill this guy to get the sword back. But I guess we could get into our overall thoughts in the series before we jump in. I don't know if you want to start, Brian.
I've already said it.
Okay.
But I think
Josh, what do you think?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so one thing I want to point out about the series is the main character, whose name
Chihiro.
Chihiro, right? Yeah, Chihiro. He's I wouldn't say he's emo. He's very like
Edgy.
I wouldn't quite say brooding either, but one thing I like about his character is that he's very He's very down to earth, very like calm, super duper chill, but he's not like mopey. Like you can tell he's had to grow up pretty fast, and he's definitely, a little bit further than his age,
Even before his
mentally
dad
than.
died too, he had to grow up fast. Because
Yeah, like they actually explain that. Yeah.
his dad was like a child that he had to take care of essentially
Mhm.
at a young
So
age.
he has a strong sense of like responsibility, and he has this optimism and like valid to him as well. He cares about protecting the innocent and all of that. But, he's not too preachy about it. He's very like he's super like he's goal orientated, action orientated, but not in a reckless way. Although he's not. His earnestness to get the swords back and stuff makes him rush into certain decisions, but he's still young, so I think his character design itself is really dope. And the whole edgy, broody character has been executed well. He's not annoying. That's impressive.
Yeah, he's just a serious guy, to be honest. You know, he has like a
Yeah,
goal in
very
mind. He's
serious.
very objective about it. But yeah, I don't know if you wanted to add more to your thoughts on the series in general, but
Goldfish, goldfish powers, my nigga. I don't even understand it completely yet, but
There's like a bunch of different fishes, or
he
like
has three
not
different
fishes.
powers. I'm trying to remember them off my head because it depends on.
There's like one for offense, one for defense, and there's like a small one to
Mhm.
like for like precision, I guess, is what I think.
Yeah, I could look that up, but you guys keep going if anything.
I also like some of the supporting cast around him. I'm not huge on like the kid with the healing powers. I don't really care much about her, but I like
she's
Mr.
not your
Shiva.
number one character.
Huh?
She's not your number one character.
No, I'm not. I'm not super.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just like regular kid character number one, right? Like just uh just a person for Chihiro to like protect and stuff. But I like Mr. Shiba because he's not much of a combatant, but he's like the definition of a supporting character, right? Like he just shows up, he helps, he like has a pretty cool ability where he can pick people up and teleport them and stuff. But I think
Low key, I
he's a
think
pretty
he's
cool
a op.
character. Huh?
Low key, I think he's a op.
Yeah, I have that feeling too, but I really don't want it to be true.
Yeah, I mean,
I get the feeling that he's gonna have some crazy betrayal later.
What's the teleporting
he's
guy?
trying to get all the swords
Yeah.
himself. Yeah,
I'm really hoping
he
that's
may
not
not be
the
the
case.
final boss, but
I hope
I
he
can
at
see
least
that
feels
twist
bad about
happening.
it when he betrays Chihiro.
Chihiro cut his head off quickly. That's the thing about Chihiro, man. He's not. He, out of all the other main characters in every other series I'm reading, I think he hesitates the least. As long as innocent life isn't at stake.
Yeah.
But he's quick, man. He's quick to kill you.
Yeah, as soon as you are somebody on his hit list, you're
Yeah.
getting the hands.
He doesn't go back and forth about it at all. Once he determines, yeah, you need to die, he goes into that mode. I didn't know his eyes was red. It's pretty gangsta. Are those koi fish? No, goldfish, but
Goldfish.
colored really cool. Angelfish.
Yeah, I think they're goldfish.
There's a black one, an orange one, and
I
a
think they're all fish. I mean, I think they're
tabby
all
one.
I think they're all goldfish, I'm pretty sure.
I forgot to mention this. Chihiro lost his arm in the previous battle, by the way.
Wait,
Did you get
didn't
it back?
Get it back?
I don't think so.
Are you serious?
He
'Cause
doesn't have
he-
it here.
Nah. Oh shit! No way. No way. Nah, he's good. The girl healed his arm back.
He doesn't have his arm.
Nah, he has his arm. Look. Nah.
Nah, I
Oh,
am only
shit,
seeing one
bro.
arm. Not gonna lie.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So yeah, main character has one arm. 22 chapters in.
No.
Yeah,
Nah.
there's so much shit happening in this series that would take forever to happen in others. It's kind of wild.
Oh. Let me tell you guys something real quick. So there was this team of like sorcerers like that was supposed to be a really big deal.
Oh yeah.
And they pulled up to fight
I thought these guys were going to be supporting characters.
they pulled up to fight the cloud gouger guy, and they almost all of them died.
Yeah.
They got folded, and then Chihiro lost his arm to him too, but he won.
Yeah, they got mid-diffed. And there was like 12 of these
The girl
guys.
healed his arm.
Yeah, there was a lot of them, and it just goes to show how powerful these swords are. Because like majority of the series is like sorcerers, most of the people in this world, and these swords are like their biggest threat, essentially.
Yeah, they're imbued with magic, and they're the only swords who have that property.
So like these guys who have these crazy ass swords are like it adds like another level of kind of like, because like the way Chihiro views the swords is that they're only meant to be used to protect people or to fight in an effort to protect, right? But if they fall into the wrong hands and they're used for evil, then that just stains the legacy of his father and kind of like, because he talks about in the first chapter the responsibility of creating these swords and who gets them. But they also have an element where like even though these swords are in the wrong hands, it almost seems like these swords also chose them to wield them, even though they're terrible people. So it's kind of like Chihiro's responsibility to like beat the swords, not just the people who wield them, right? Like for his father, he's defeating his father's legacy at the same time. So it's a pretty cool little story to tell.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's a story about accountability and like responsibility with power that I thought is very interesting. It's a good theme to take with a shonen manga, because I think a lot of the times, we take these superpowers for granted, and there's like now there's a main character who's always asking the question of like the great power with great responsibility question that not a lot of people really talk about. But I thought it was interesting, and I'm very happy to talk about this series and have it on the lineup.
Yeah. So are we ready to jump into it?
Yeah, take it away, Brian.
All right. So the chapter kind of starts immediately where we're inside the Sasanami household, or like compound or whatever. And the head guy, I forgot his name. He's oddly passive for someone in his position. He is kind of cornered by Mr. Shiba and Chihiro, and he's kind of like, I would like for you to like get the fuck out of here. And Chihiro immediately draws his sword. He's like, yo, wait, I ain't trying to fight, my guy. Chill. And when Chihiro asks for where the sword is being kept, he kind of plays coy at first, where he kind of like starts talking about like Chihiro's seventh sword and shit. And it seems like he knows a lot more than he should, but I guess with a person in his position, he has a lot of resources to learn a lot more about what's going on. But the main reason they're here is just to find out where the sword is being stored, because in the previous chapter it's mentioned that there's a storehouse, and here we learn more about it. So in this character, I forget his name. It's another one of the Sazanami guys. But he is kind of rogue. He used to be part of this family, but he left because he was considered weak and didn't really contribute much to the family's organization and shit. Also, probably because he disagrees with how they run their auction. But the entire family knows that there's a storehouse, but and they've been inside it, but for some reason none of them know where it is. Um, so that's why they're questioning the guy directly. Um, and we find out that the reason why nobody knows where the storehouse is because it's essentially in this guy's fucking imagination. So using sorcery, he has like an entire world. He has this entire storehouse in his imagination where he keeps people locked up inside of his mind in little spaces. So he kind of kidnaps people and puts them into this space where nobody can reach them. And if he dies, everyone inside of this place dies too. So
There's a full set of samurai armor in there too.
yeah, he has like, if you've seen like Guardians of the
Very
Galaxy and you've seen what's his name?
The Collector.
It's kind of like that. That kind of imagery where it's just a bunch of people in cages, a bunch of artifacts, and the sword is there as well. And he's not willing to part with it because it's the biggest thing that they're selling, right? It's one of the 6 strongest weapons in the world. So obviously he's not going to just give them over. And they can't just kill him for it because there's a bunch of innocent people who are also locked up in these collections that will cease to live if they kill him. So now it kind of makes sense why he was so calm this entire time, because he literally has all the power in this situation. And they're like, oh, so we'll just like torture you to like give us the sword, and he'll be like, and I'll just kill someone for every time you hit me. So try that. Let's talk about that. So at that point, um they realize that they can't really negotiate with this guy because they aren't willing to sacrifice people's lives in the effort of getting this sword. So Mr. Shiba is like, all right, we need to rethink this now that we know what it is, because the information they just got is information that nobody, even in the Sazanami family, even know. And Shiba remembers something that the the rogue Sazanami family member talked about, where he said that um people could that maybe people can in the family can infiltrate the storehouse. So he's like, all right, we got to get the fuck out of here. And before they do, the entire Sazanami family shows up, with the exception of one. Um, so the numbers have completely gone in the in the favor of the Sazanami family. So they're like, all right, we need to get the fuck out of here. Um, hold on, this fucking app is taking forever to turn the page. Hold on, let me open it up on my fucking computer. Viz.
Vias.
Kagurabachi. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Okay. So the entire Sazanami family shows up and they're about to scrap, but we cut away from him to Hakuri, who is the rogue Sazanami family member. And he bumps into one of his big brothers, who he mentioned before are pretty fucking strong. And that's where we leave off with 2 cliffhangers, one in Chihiro's side and one in Hakuri's side. All right. I'm gonna pass over to Josh to find out his thoughts.
All right. Very nice recap, Brian. of
Yes,
the
great
chapter, by the
job.
way.
Chip off the old block, this
Kudos
kid.
to that. So specifically in this chapter, I thought it was interesting to start off with this one. By coincidence, sure, but like it was like another save the cat moment for Chihiro, kind of like reinforcing what we were talking about, his quality, his character qualities earlier. He could have easily threatened the dude and got the sword, and probably even he's probably bluffing. He probably doesn't have as much control over the situation as he says, but he just simply says, "Nah, I can't gamble on innocent people's lives." That's it. He conceded to the fact that this the head clan member of the Hazanami, he knew he knew Chihiro. He understood like why he would be seeking out the swords, and like figured out how to play on his weaknesses, so to speak, and his empathy. So pretty slick move. This guy isn't just a joke of a mob boss. He's also a really powerful sorcerer himself, and I'm sure he has more ability than just this imagination scape. Man, I am still reeling over the realization that he only has one arm. What the fuck? Why? Why? There's literally a person that can heal. Is that what we want to do for our main character? Is that gonna be like he's gonna end up getting his arm back or something with one of the swords? Like it has like a regenerative sword? Maybe. I don't. This can't be. This can't be for the rest of the series. It's too edge for me personally.
He's like
I'll
Shanks.
still read it, but it's no.
That's it.
No.
No.
Just now.
No, because he doesn't have hockey.
This is
You don't
true.
know that.
You can only.
Hello?
Josh.
I do know that.
Oh, okay.
No, I had to pause for a moment because I know it for a fact. I had to make sure.
You had to sit there and think whether he
He
has
used a
hockey or not.
completely different source of energy. He uses goldfishes, and that's not swaggy enough to justify having one arm, unfortunately.
You might be onto
I
something.
will
Here.
say this though. He has refused to stop ever since losing his arm. So I'll give him that, man. He had me under the illusion that he had two arms. That's how crazy. As a matter of fact, a couple chapters ago, he got into a fight.
Yeah, he did get to a
with
crazy
one of the
fight.
authority members, and he was fine. Chihiro, our main character, was okay, and the other person, they was hurt.
She was trying her hardest to beat him.
He was.
Who's he? That's
That's
a
it.
with the bone weapon.
That's a man. Yeah.
No, that's a woman.
No, it's not.
It is.
Go back and read.
I did, I just read the entire series through.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I went
Bro,
back.
look at it again.
The girl wasn't able to heal him, but I don't think it's closed off that she can't in the future. She just doesn't have complete mastery over
I'm
her
sure when
powers.
she gets strong enough.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I'm gonna check for Brian real quick though. Oh no, I gotta go.
whether
Yeah.
she's a woman, because I'm pretty sure she's a woman.
Wait, who is?
The lady with the bone weapon.
No, I think it's a guy.
Hi.
Pretty sure that's
It
a
said
girl.
he. Like
I think he's definitely a
it
guy.
looks like a girl.
I thought he was a guy at first, but I'm pretty sure that's a girl.
No, it's a guy.
Kagurabachi Bone.
His name is Hiyuki. Oh
Yeah.
no, he said she. Wow, it is a woman. Okay,
See, told you.
my bad.
I know my shit. All right.
Where did they say that at?
She's serious about killing this dude on chapter 21, page 15.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Hiyuki.
Which chapter?
Gender female. Get shit on, Josh.
You hear that,
Damn.
Josh?
Super L.
You know what?
Oh,
I
that
thought
weapon is pretty chill. Pretty cool.
Hmm?
That weapon she uses is pretty cool.
it really is. It's just
Yeah, it is
Susanoo,
dope.
but like fully boned and not just a hologram thing. It's fire
Yeah.
bones. Anyway, Josh, were those all your thoughts?
Yeah, I guess.
What are your thoughts, Christian?
Oh, I love this chapter. I thought like the reveal of the subspace was really cool. I was like, oh, this is a good way.
Yeah.
This is a good way to raise the stakes here.
Yeah,
I thought
It
that was
was-
sick. I think this guy's pretty cool as a villain. He's really nonchalant, but you know he can back it up because he is like, I have all the cards. You know, you kill me, you don't get what you want. I thought that reveal was really cool. I thought the 3-on-2 that's about to happen is pretty sick. I wonder if
Oh, it is a she. Okay, you're right.
I wonder if
Switch the
Why
legs.
would
and
I
let
lie
her
about
catch
this?
it, yeah. I don't know why I got confused.
I wonder if Mr. Shiba is going to show off in this fight. You know, he's going to be like, looks like I got to get involved. And then he's
Yeah,
going to fight.
I'm surprised he maybe there's some condition that prevents him from just warping people out when there's too many people around. Maybe he could be interrupted.
It is possible. It's pretty sick. I'm excited to see. I thought it was a great cliffhanger all around. I thought this was like a really good chapter, set the stakes up, good maneuverable way to get to the subspace, makes the Haruki kid a little more relevant. Yeah, so good. Very excited. I'm glad Kagura Robachi is in the lineup because this is a series I've genuinely been enjoying. So it'll be fun to talk about and get on the ground floor of.
Yeah. Those are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, Brian, what did you think?
I think this chapter finally added a little more depth to the sorcerer role in this series, where before it was we didn't really have an idea of how deep the system goes, but now we see that there's actually quite a lot that can be done here. There's a lot of creative ways. I know before there was something really interesting with Hiyuki. Is that the name of the bone girl?
Yeah,
Where her partner kind of sets like a little arena dome where whoever, like if someone loses, the arena gets caught out or gets ended. So it seems like the sorcery in this series is going to be a lot more interesting than I originally thought. Especially with this new guy, with this new head boss guy and his creative use of it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how much more they can continue to build upon it, because like the swords are like they're a big deal, but they're like the flashiest part of this series so far. Because they're all just 100% power and have some utility, but there's only so much you can do with like, you know, big blasty abilities and stuff like that. But sorcerers seem like they're gonna have a lot more creativity in how they use their shit. So I'm really fucking interested to see how much more can be done with this sorcerer system. But aside from that, don't have much else to say about the series that I
hell
haven't
yeah,
already said before.
hell yeah. Welcome to the lineup, Kagura Robachi, and with that, I think we're good to move on. Yeah.
You're
All right, let's go.
I hope he turns his sword into some guns.
Undead Unluck. And with that, I'm gonna toss this one over to Josh.
Undead Unluck. Chapter number 197. Ready with 3 exclamation points. Last week we got a bombshell dropped on us of some spirit people talking to Fuko, seemingly like some ancestors, and then and then Fuko pointed her finger at a whale, shot a finger at him, and something hit that whale, and it was her unluck. Pretty fucking epic. All right, the chapter starts with that. What Fuko did was attach a piece of her spirit, shoot it at the whale, and transfer her unluck towards it. Beast is fucking stunned.
He's
He
like, whoa.
is straight flabbergasted. And he has this silly ass fucking octopus on his head. Like, it looked really sick before, and now it just looks goofy as hell. He's like, wow, you caught on to them? Fuko doesn't really know what he's talking about. So Beast is like, you know what? Since you're doing all of that extra shit, I'm about to do this extra shit too. And he goes into phase 3, which Fuko brings up that spring from the past loop. Damn, that seems so long ago.
Right.
Wow.
Wow.
This was all brand. Anyway, we'll reflect on that later. I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt that. But like, yeah, like in one of the crazier arcs of the previous loop, the Uma Spring leveled up 2 times. So it essentially reached Charizard level, and it was a problem. It trapped them into a game that they could not get out of, and they had to beat him at the game. They had no chance of beating him combat wise, and that's what Beast is replicating right now, essentially. And on top of that, he still has unbreakable. So because whenever they say the words, it's like a big deal. Beast phase 3. So he laughs and starts expanding his abilities. Pause.
Is that a pause?
Apparently
Is that a
Yeah.
pausable offense?
I would just say this. I felt like it was funnier to say it that way.
Okay.
So it covers me. It's like it covers me and it's funny. Anyway, well, not so much that I had to explain it now, but it is what it is. So he activates his new ability, Revive Destruction. Sounds pretty fucking sick. Gonna be honest. And what it does is brings back like ancient species that have, I guess, died out, been extinct, and some pterodactyls, but a lot of fucking insects, and that's a problem.
Yeah, Josh
know
does
me.
not like insects. Not the
Not
biggest
a
fan.
big fan of these guys at all, and it's just a lot of them. Like, why did you revive so many bugs? You fucking nasty beast. Anyway, this is bad. Uko's like, okay, I just leveled up and came to his realization, but like, what the fuck we gonna do about these animals? And animals have unbreakable on them too, by the way. This beast is cheesing hard right now. So Uko finally understands, like, look, the reason why us negators keep getting these abilities is because we're being chosen by the previous users. Like, it's being passed on. It's like intentional and like also hereditary. Essentially, she says the negator of the previous generation chooses their successor, and she backs that up with the fact that in the previous loop, untruth moved from Shen to Mui, and that wasn't really like it wasn't specifically a bloodline thing, but it was a meaningful pass to her, spirit wise. And with Unbreakable, it's something that's been passed down in their family, something they made a big deal of, which was actually really cool now that I think about it, because I thought it was an interesting tidbit when they were breaking down like why
Beast shouldn't have been able to be like have that strong of an ability. But it did come off as random, and now it makes a lot of sense, and I thought it was set up really well. But anyway, he, Fuko is trying to convince Haruka Unbreakable that she can connect with the Ishins of the past, the previous users of Unbreakable. And she does. She meets quite literally her family, her past family members. She sees her dad again and cries. And it's really cute because she actually shows up as like a child, and her dad comments and says, you're appearing this way because your heart is still like has a lot more maturing to do. That's her grandpa. My bad. Anyway, he's like, look, you came here to learn a form of Unbreakable that can defeat Beast, right? And he said, listen, Unbreakable wasn't developed in a single generation. We are not Beast. We are humans. So use it. Use the power of those who never merely live and die. The power of the human soul. Okay. So Fuko's shooting spirit bullets at, inside the mouth of this pterodactyl. It's probably gonna die. I don't know. Beast is like, I told you, it's useless. Adding Unbreakable to this quest was a bad move. Yeah, give up, dumbass. Who was like, look, you're mistaken. Them shots I bucked off, it was a great move, and that's how I know you're gonna lose because you underestimate the human soul as Top pulls up with the unbreakable 12-layered robe runner's regalia. Somebody look up what the fuck that means, please. And
What's a
kicks Beast
regalia?
right in the fucking mouth. Yo, he breaks the armor off of him and probably breaks the rest of his teeth out his mouth too. It's awesome. And he has those kicks intact still. Probably retros. You already know.
You want to know what a regalia is?
Yeah, what's that?
The emblems or insignia of royalty, especially the crown, scepter, and other ornaments used in a coronation.
Beast got his ass whooped with royal gear. It's
Yeah.
over. No more of that rare or uncommon shit. He went straight to legendary.
Damn, dude, it looks like
Side note, I should have brought this up in the pre-show chat show, but I listened to a song recently, and there's a lot of references I kind of understand, but I know there's plenty you guys will understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Perception. It's about D&D.
Oh.
Perception check.
Oh,
You
that's
guys
fine.
know that song?
I don't know the song, but I know what a perception check is.
I rolled the one.
I don't know the name.
Brian has to know that. I'm gonna send it to Discord.
I have to know what.
Okay, whatever. You'll see. Perception check, the song.
Perception check.
I'll send it to you guys.
Sounds like a D&D thing.
It is. It's exactly what it is.
By Tom
Should've saved
Carey.
it for the
Oh,
pre-show
I have
show.
seen this. I have
Yeah.
seen this.
Well,
actually.
anyway, before we get into that, that's the end of the chapter. Yeah. I kicked him in the face, and they're ready to beat the shit out of him and rip him apart limb by limb. Good stuff. Chris, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I thought this chapter was pretty sick. I think the idea of difference being between beasts and humans is that we didn't just like use our abilities for survival. We like claim them and we like pass them down from generation to generation to protect our offspring and so on and so forth. I think that's kind of
Poetic.
Poetic and fun. And Top looks like a Power Ranger, and that's pretty sweet.
Royal Power Ranger.
Yeah, he's a Royal Power Ranger right now. It's morphin' time. He kicked the shit out of this pterodactyl.
OD.
This is an endangered species, son. Yeah, I thought it was a really good chapter overall. I like the
Yeah, it is. Oh, shit.
Huh?
I didn't think about that. Like, Top got to chill a little bit. You should aim for
Yeah.
Beast. I thought he
Yeah,
kicked Beast. He kicked Pterodactyl. I guess that's okay.
I guess so. But come on. I do like the focus on Haruka. You know, the Ishin family has always been like an interesting part of it. I think they're the only like family that has passed down their negation. So I always like that little part about her. Yeah, the point of like communicating with your past selves and gaining knowledge that way is pretty sick. I wonder how that's going to work for the other negators, how they're going to tap into this ability.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Like, is Top going to?
Yeah. I wonder what tops the previous members of Unstoppable. You'll see the Flash. You'll see Brooke.
Yo, that would be so sick. Imagine, like, Barry Allen,
Yeah.
Brooke, fucking, Speed Racer.
Yeah,
Right.
Speed Racer.
Maybe.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I'm excited to see what comes next.
Shinko.
Josh, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm really interested to see if the other negators are gonna tap into, the soul magic and talk to their previous selves and power up. I don't think they're gonna do it one by one, but I'll be honest. I'd be surprised if they did it for Top, but I don't know why. I just have a feeling they're not. I think that's that, and that we're gonna explore it more later on. There may be. I think this is gonna be a moment where Julia can, finally speak to Juiz, and which is, that's something she's wanted to do for so long since she, been seeing her in her dreams. So I think that's the next flashback we're gonna get, or dreamscape we're gonna get. But honestly, I feel like I gave a lot of my thoughts throughout the chapter, as I usually do. But the situation looked so dire until it wasn't. Really, the manga is truly getting better with time.
Yeah, I agree. But
All I got to say, really.
yeah, great chapter overall. That was Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch him where he's playing video games at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. Follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. That'd be pretty sick. Do that. We answer every question we get on our pre-show chat show that we do every week. Get on that. I hope you guys are liking that. Subscribe to us. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube. All that stuff. Do the thing. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for me. We'll see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Bye.